NFT, from niche to mass market.
All right, everyone, thank you for sticking around with us. We have a pretty interesting panel for you this afternoon, so you'll be glad you did. My name is Greg McMullen. I'm a lawyer with Segev LLP based in Vancouver. I've been doing NFTs since before they were NFTs in 2015 with a little company called Ascribe from Berlin, but back practicing law now, and we have some people who are maybe better placed to talk about the mass market than the niche. So I'll just let the folks go down the panel and introduce themselves, and then we'll get right down into it.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Wesley Ellul. I am a serial entrepreneur in the emerging tech space. Been working on blockchain projects since 2018, and today I've been focusing a little bit more into the new emerging tech, such as NFTs and metaverses, and we're seeing how we can make them useful and palatable to audiences out there and not just make them about money.
Hi, my name is Eugene, and I'm the head of operations in the DeepMine Metaverse NFT game. What we're trying to do is we try to bring mainstream players into blockchain gaming.
All right, hi again, Maggie. In the DAO space, NFT space, social media space, going into Web3, lots of different projects, just like the Web3 ethos.
So, hi guys, my name is Gagandeep Singh, and I'm basically into marketing consultancy and investments. So yeah, that's pretty much a summary about me.
All right, well, I guess the first question we have with this panel, from niche to mass market, is why? Like over the past couple years, we have seen NFTs go from something that absolutely no one has any clue about to something that is a pretty common point of conversation. I would say most people have at least seen a picture of a Bored Ape, even if they didn't know what it was. So how did we get here from the niche to the maybe not mass market yet, but at least bordering on it?
COVID brought us here today. It is really simple. People were bored at home. They had nothing to do. They were going online all the time, and someone popped a little idea that, you know what, I'm sitting at home, I'm doing nothing, let's create a little collection. OpenSea opened up over there, and people just started sharing their experiences and sharing their art, and that got people excited. When people are sitting down and contained and have nothing better to do, their mind has to focus on something creative, and I think that was what took us to this step where we are today. And obviously the Bored Ape Yacht Club came out, 18 months ago, and it's almost in line with the whole COVID scenario. That brought us out to a very interesting place where celebrities were jumping on board. Everybody was getting excited. Oh, let me be part of something. And I think that's how we got here today, but I think we still have a long way to go till we'll see proper mass market usage, because it needs to be more than just the money.
Well, I think you need to realize that NFTs is a vast space, and they have very different utilities, because there are NFTs with utilities and there are NFTs just for the sake of the art. For example, we are developing a game where NFTs have the utility, but at the same time, like a week ago, I bought the NFT of my favorite painter that I have a paint of in my house, and I bought the NFT painted by her as well. So, you know, it's just, there are different markets that NFT disrupts, and I think they have very different approaches how they will approach the mass market.
Okay, I feel like the word NFT has been thrown around so much. Like every company is now like, okay, we're doing an NFT. Like we're talking about, people are doing like, you know, having a wedding and then doing like an NFT for everyone who attends a wedding. So the thing that excites me about NFT before this whole wave is that for the first time ever, you can actually own a piece of internet with NFT. Like that's what NFT is, right? It's giving scarcity to anything digital. So I think that concept in itself is very revolutionary, and it depends on how people are using it. And definitely, like, you know, the theme of how do we go from niche to mainstream is going to be the question of the day in terms of like how are people going to use this technology in a way that's going to benefit the entire like human race.
So I think exactly we have gone from like a niche to a mass market. Like in 2021, the very first quarter, we had about $2 billion worth of volume, but now in 2022, in the first quarter, we had about $15 billion worth of volume. And actually, I was looking at the chain analysis data of 2022. And in the first week of May itself, we had about $37 billion of volume happening. And in 2021, the total was 40 billion. So of course, we are trading somewhere, but as the beer market has onset, so we are going to see some downfall, of course, not the upside potential that we were seeing so far. So the main peak happened around December and January. And the main reasons I feel were because, as Wesley said, celebrities were one of them. And the next I feel is the ease. So with the collectibles and the art NFTs, we saw OpenSea being one of the major players. So it was like super easy to purchase NFTs and to get like onboarding process of the Web2 users, I would say, was pretty easy. And then besides that, now we have fiat as well playing a role in terms of purchasing NFTs. So clearly before it was just crypto, and a lot of my friends were actually asking like, how do I get on board? I don't know how to go around the crypto thing, but I want to come on board and buy NFT for the big profit potential that it has. So basically that has also been solved now. And the main point, another one that I just mentioned, was the big profit potential that everyone saw in this space. So basically these were the reasons why the NFT space was actually going up, pretty much.
So now that we're at some point in the journey from extremely niche to total market adoption in all kinds of different areas, the next question I want to address is what is the path to the next group of users? How do NFTs go to broader adoption? What is missing on the technology side? What is missing on the UX side? In the culture side? How do we get there, and what's holding us back right now?
Okay, that's a very, very vast question, and it's going to be different according to the different markets that we're going to see. So I'm going to talk about some of the NFTs we don't talk about too much, like the financial NFTs, which we're seeing today, the fractal ownership of various different items, such as property. That is going to be something I see will be booming in the next couple of years, with the price of property going through the roof these days everywhere around the world. Everybody talks about how expensive property is, how I can't own anything. I think NFTs are going to be a helpful solution to start getting people on the property ladder as they're renting out somewhere else, but they have a little bit of something which is going up in value. So I think that's one area where we'll start seeing mass usage. I have another feeling a little bit about identity when it comes down to even credentials and things like this. We're going to see a movement amongst companies who are going to start offering NFTs as their sort of badge that you did work there, sort of a LinkedIn, rather than going to LinkedIn and saying, okay, this person worked here, which we really can't verify because, let's be honest, no company really checks who has them on LinkedIn. But we're going to see that sort of movement. Then we're going to see the mainstream culture. We're going to see the average Joe in the streets. We're going to see people who are looking at cinemas, film, television shows, wanting to own a piece of that television show, which they have. And it could be just, it doesn't even need to cost money, but it's that digital collectible idea. I'm working on a feature film at the moment, which we're launching in December, and we're working on their NFT collection. Part of which we want to build their community before the film comes out so that people know what's going to happen in this film, create this transmedia narrative whereby people can start engaging and enjoying the film. And then inside the film, we're actually embedding NFTs as well. So that's a little bit more fun about it. But this is sort of these baby step journeys where we discover and see usages for it and find out what's the next step to go.
Well, I think that there will be like two ways in the future which will help the mass adoption. First of all is the rising accessibility of crypto. Is like the easiness of buying the NFT, without needing to go through the wallet setup and stuff like that. So just like on ramps, you just use a credit card to get NFT. And the other, I think it's a major movement, will be the embrace by the bigger brands. Because as soon as like TV series release NFTs, they bring a huge community into the market, which is not familiar with the space. It could be but it could be millions of people. Imagine Star Wars doing an NFT. It's like tens of millions of people, and they will go there. If they have like incentive, if they're a fan of what's going on.
I want to echo your point. So I think definitely user experience is key here for the mainstream people. Like if I want to buy something or if I want to download an app right now, I go to the Apple App Store, I download it, cool, I can start installing the app or buy it. It's tied with my Apple Pay. With NFT, I need a wallet first. I would say a lot of people here probably don't have a wallet yet. And so without a wallet, you can't really get your hands on an NFT. So I see the whole problem right now with like mainstream adoption of NFT as all these major companies actually figuring out a way so that people can start buying the NFT like directly tied with your Apple Wallet, right? Like I see something cool, I double tap on my phone, boom, it's in my wallet already. So that technology has been technology is already there. It's just like companies hadn't really integrated that technology with the existing platform. And then the second thing, again, echoing your point actually, is the celebrity adoption. I think as the brands you already use and the brands you already recognize, as they are all launching their NFT, like Disney or Marvel launched their whole NFT series, and all their fans are like, okay, that's cool, I can buy Spider-Man for like $10 now, I'll hold on to it, and maybe one day it'll go up in value. So like, that's a great example of how big brands can start utilizing their entire fan base to this new technology. But again, we're only in the beginning. We're gonna cross a lot of different bridges here, and I think that user adoption, user experience is gonna be the key to allow everyone to come into the space.
So I feel that main adoption will come from the gaming side of things.
Yes.
Because, again, I'm going to point to some data. Like the current active users, active wallets in the NFT space, around 51% are from the gaming industry. So all these Axie Infinity and everyone playing games, all like most major players, active wallets are the gamers. So for gamers, we have to make it pretty easy in terms of, so as Maggi also pointed out that we don't need a user to know what that technology is. For them, if you point out that, okay, this is a project based on NFT and blockchain, it's good. You will attract crypto users. You will maybe take your coin to the moon. But at the end of the day, you want adoption. And in order to bring adoption, you want Web2 gamers to come on board. And for that, you don't need to bring jargons into play. Just tell them that you will have ownership. Like a true ownership will happen if you come on board and you use this particular platform, whereas currently you were not having that. So you just need to tell them the USPs rather than selling them the technology. They don't care about that.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I think that's one aspect. And then the other two aspects that I feel have been bringing and will bring a lot of adoption is metaverse. Metaverse, lands, and big companies coming into play. So they are going to bring like mass adoption to the NFTs as they have been bringing so far. And also the DeFi. Like DeFi, if you look at, if you know that NFT loans are happening right now. So this again brings, like DeFi bought a use case for the NFTs, basically for the collectibles, which rarely have any utilities. So that actually brings another concept for the adoption to take place. So that's my viewpoint.
Just adding on that point, there's about $50 billion locked up in DeFi today. It was like over 100 billion like a few months ago before the marketing. So just to give you an idea of like how much money, how much adoption is already in the space, and how much further we can go.
So there's a lot of money at stake here, a lot of different intellectual properties getting involved. We have kind of these emerging plays to become the dominant platform for NFTs. What do we think will be kind of the winner here? Will there be kind of a $10 trillion platform that controls the whole universe, or will we have multiple compatible platforms? How will we see agreement, and what will that mean for users on this path to mass adoption?
Okay, so platforms is going to be interesting because I think it's going to be maybe wallets are going to be key to this rather than platforms themselves, because I think we're going to see the Coca-Cola app releasing their own NFT through their platform. Through their own platform, we're going to see a lot of decentralization, because the whole thing about this is we don't have to go through OpenSea. We go there because there's an audience there, but that's for a specific thing. Fortnite, at some point, will go into the NFT space. We'll get the digital assets, we'll be buying them through there. So I don't think it's going to be a platform-driven thing, but I think it's going to be certain technologies which make it easy to use. MetaMask, Coinbase Wallet, whatever that might be, will be a winner there. Because people will be using these things. What I would say is maybe we'll be also looking at standards, open source standards, which will be used so that people can use these things across various different gaming platforms or sales platforms. I heard a pitch today in the Bitcoin Bay thing that was talking about selling NFTs for your booking for a holiday homes, and which great. But what we're going to need to see is places where there's open standards between everything, so that I can sell this there and people know what that's going to entail and what's going to come along with it. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a platform. I think we're going to be looking at open standards, which will be the key.
Yeah, I agree with the point that there may be like main standards that will be used by everyone, but I don't really believe in monopolies in this space, just because it is so fast moving. It just, the technology is changing so fast. There is no way one company can accumulate all the power, because there will be like a young startup that will disrupt the space with a new technology. So I just, no, I don't believe, maybe there will be like 3-5 big players like we have with the crypto exchanges, but again, Binance is a huge whale, but it doesn't close all the dozens of other players in the market. So I think it could be the same in the NFT space. There will be OpenSea, there will be some other bigger marketplaces, but still, there will be plenty.
I'm probably going to take the stance of you two as well. I think I have a lot of faith that this is not going to be one universe controlled by Mark Zuckerberg. It's actually going to be a few different individual universes or metaverses. My only concern there is if you look at the biggest projects in the space today, like OpenSea, which handles probably, I don't know, like 80% of all the NFT trading volume. Look at all the top VCs that's in OpenSea. It's the same VC that's in like Facebook or Google or Netflix. So that would be my only concern, is that like when we say we have all these different centralized metaverses, are we really, or is it just like an illusion that we have all these different metaverses, but it's actually ultimately controlled by the same parties? So I don't know. That's a question thrown back to the panel here. That's just my.
I think the real adoption will come to a platform which has the suitable tech behind it. So we didn't have, there was not much traction to any other blockchain like Solana, Polygon in the start, so therefore Ethereum took the reins. And most of the NFT volume happens on Ethereum right now. But now Solana, Polygon, all are being integrated on big platforms. So clearly they will come into play for two reasons, the very basic unknown ones. One is the cheap transaction rate and more transactions per second. So those are the reasons. And then besides this, as Wesley also pointed out, there has to be tech which also helps. For instance, again, I'm a proponent for gamers. So it again helps a gamer to transfer one gaming asset from one game to another. So all this, such technology, such utilities will actually, if whichever platform adopts to that, will be the one that will take over. And they can be multiple, of course. They can't be just one. So that's it.
So we have 12 minutes left. We have 2 questions left, so that is good. I think we'll start from the opposite end this time and mix it up a bit. I'm going to kind of take a pessimistic slant here and say, well, we have all these open platforms, but maybe the hardware is going to be controlled by monopolists. And we have various NFT projects that are right away being priced out of the range of people who haven't already bought into the crypto market, which I think has kind of fed into an anti-NFT backlash that's been happening, I think especially on Twitter, but in other places as well. So I'm wondering why people think we've seen this backlash, and whether this will kind of derail the move to mass market.
So here I feel that the very basic example that almost everyone gives. Why do you go, one basic thing that every user or every person was saying was, why should I purchase this particular image? And then again, of course, NFT use case is not just collectibles or art. There are many use cases, but currently I'm pointing out to the one that is the most famous. People used to say, why we are buying this picture, we can just take a screenshot. Then again, everyone says that, why can't you just take a picture of Mona Lisa or take a picture of a big real estate? Or even, why do you follow a particular verified account than following the fan accounts? Because we know what's authentic. So the same reason, so this is one of the drawbacks that, or I would say, kind of a meme narrative that was running out. So that is one. And the other, I would say, is the energy aspect of things. So on the energy side, as I said, Ethereum has been taking over most of the NFT volumes as of now. But Ethereum converting from proof of work to proof of stake will also solve that. Currently, proof of stake almost takes about 124 kilowatt per hour of energy, and maybe for a transaction. But that will actually decrease by 1000x once the proof of stake mechanism comes into play. So again, I think these problems are being solved as we speak.
So those are two great points. So the way I'm seeing it is there's a lot of backlash against NFTs right now for those two reasons. Environmental, right? Like the amount of energy used to run Bitcoin as of December last year mirrors Argentina, like the entire years. So like a lot of people are saying, okay, it's not good for the environment, da da da. But so is everything else. Look at all the lights we're using. Like look at the entire banking system. So I think, you know, as people are like being more educated, I'm actually very thankful to platforms like TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, because there's a lot of influencers on there that are like teaching people about all these different potentials and the problems we're talking about. And I think as people are more kind of informed, then they can make their own decisions. And so like after this initial backlash, as people are actually seeing the benefit of the underlying technology, and that benefit is that you can own a piece of the internet. Like that's just it. Right now, if I go on Google or I have a Twitter account, like that's not mine. If Twitter goes down, my entire Twitter account goes down. But if I now go to a decentralized app, I'm connected with my wallet, and I build up my entire reputation. Could be in the gaming space. Even if that platform goes down, I still have my entire identity in my wallet, and I control the keys to that wallet. So I think that is a very powerful message. And when people understand that they can actually own a piece of the internet with this NFT technology, you're gonna, after this whole backslash, you're going to have people moving on to different platforms because they now want to own a piece of internet, especially if they can get a revenue share from owning that as well. That's like the beauty of DAO. That's why I'm involved in DAOs right now, because it's giving people a whole new model of how people are interacting with each other on social media, with different companies, how people are like doing projects together. So I think as people are being more informed and understand the inherent benefit of this new technology, they're going to come on board. You're going to want to be part of this community.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything new about backlash for NFTs, because, I mean, like, how many people said the crypto is stupid 5 years ago? I mean, still many people say that. And I think it goes for any new technology. And I mean, you can argue that most NFTs are stupid, and that will be a valid point. But the thing is that there is a technology behind, and you always need to start somewhere, and you're not going to start from a genius product that everyone will embrace. So you need to take steps, and I think the NFT, obviously the hype was there, and it brought a lot of hate with it, because where everyone is talking about, oh, I bought a picture of something for 100K, of course people are going to hate that, and of course a lot of people will say that is stupid, but the technology will stay. And it will develop the same as we've seen with the blockchain. I mean, like, you can argue that Bitcoin is useless, but it gave rise to so many technologies afterwards. And I think it's the same going to be with NFTs. I mean, like, it started with a picture of a banana or something, that was sold for an enormous amount of money, but it gave rise to a whole industry, to a whole new industry where people work, where new products are born.
My take on the backlash is a little bit different. The backlash is coming from a lack of understanding. So when we saw the Bored Apes go up and blow up, and people were saying, why would I spend money on a stupid ape? First of all, a lot of people don't understand what that ape gets you. Today, that ape gets you accessibility to a certain number of people who you'd never get. And a lot of that information doesn't get out there. So there's this education gap which is happening. The backlash has come in. I've been working with Gala Games recently. They literally today they're just closing off a big event they're having in Malta for their community, and their holders were flown out to Malta. They bought a ticket, and they had this massive event in Malta with major artists and whatnot. They paid $8,000 a ticket over and above their NFTs. And these people went mad for it because they felt part of a community. They got something special. They got to see some of the biggest artists in the world play in front of them because they held this NFT, which they purchased a little while ago. The backlash is also coming from jealousy. It's people who want to be part of that club and are not being allowed to be part of that club. It'll be there. It'll stay there. But backlash isn't a bad thing. Backlash means people are worried about something and are not part of something, and they want to be part of it. Now, things will change as things get cheaper, but if let's just say tomorrow, the backlash, if Supreme came out with a NFT collection tomorrow and dropped it on their website, and these people who are so environmental but love Supreme, they'd still be on the website at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning trying to get that NFT and trying to own that little bit of Supreme at whatever price it came to. So I think it's just a perception point of view based on what's happening around them and them not being part of the club. And then probably if they didn't get the NFT, they'd probably say it's stupid as well. So.
That actually ties well into the last point that I wanted to close on, which is community. I think something that was a surprise to people is that there were these communities emerging around things like Bored Ape ownership, like ownership of other NFT projects. And to the point that now, for many NFT projects, the community roadmap has to be a big part of the whole launch strategy. So where do we see those communities going as we move into the next stage of NFT culture developing? And I think we'll start on the end one more time here too.
So I'll also give my closing comments as we don't have much time. So on the community side, I feel any project that I look at is always two things, team and a community. If it doesn't have an existing community, then the team needs to be very solid. And the team doesn't need to be just dogs. Like, you can't just go with any project that has a dogs team. You of course have to have a look at it, like what the team has done in the past and all the factors that we all know about. So community, of course, always takes kind of a role. So I'm a proponent on that. There's nothing much to add on it. On the closing side, I would say that we have seen like people making profits in the NFT space, everything happening perfectly. Now there's going to be a downside to it, so we are going to see some consolidation happening. This space actually started back in 2017 with CryptoKitties and CryptoPunks. So it took almost 2.5, 3 years for it to come at such a stage in 2021. So clearly with such an exponential rise, it has to consolidate at a particular point of time in order to further amplify its growth. The same way how the entire crypto space happened. So I think it's going to be pretty huge in the coming 1 to 2 years based on all the different use cases that Wesley also pointed out that NFTs will bring into play.
My thoughts on community is that right now a lot of the communities are on Twitter, Discord. I think we're going to have a new platform because Discord to me is extremely chaotic. And I see a lot of projects kind of going into different communities, but definitely if you think about the entire Web3, like if you think about internet, it's community owned. So we definitely need a community piece. It's just there is going to be a lot of consolidations. And I would say my closing thoughts on the space is that if you don't own an NFT today, like go and try one because this technology is here to stay. There's a lot of apps that's already built, like the Disney one I talked about. There's an app that you don't even need a wallet. You just download the app. You can start buying it with your iPhone, like your Apple Pay. Like go try out the technology because this is where I see a lot of the private clubs, a lot of the exclusive communities are going to start using NFT as their membership card. And so this technology is definitely here to stay. It's going to unlock the digital and physical piece. Like if you own something digital, it's going to give you the physical benefit. It's going to start looping. So if you don't have one today, go out and experiment it. That's going to be my final closing thought.
Well, I think communities are everything for NFT projects. I mean, like, where would the band be without a fan base? I mean, like, so for me, community is my passion. I mean, like, I can talk for ages. Like, much love DeepMine community. I love you guys. And I wouldn't agree on Discord. I think Discord is a great place to build a community if done properly. And I think now, if you're building a long-term project, not just to flip the NFTs, community is a must because they will be your best ambassadors. They will be out there sharing your product, and they will be selling it for you. So I think the community is just number one for me in any NFT project. So I think I'll leave it there.
The community is going to come and be part of something if there's value in it for them. An NFT, a coin, whatever it is, if there's no value in it for them, if there's nothing special, they're not going to take it up. And I think we're going to see communities joining on to this when they realize what that NFT or whatever it may be, it will give them extra and over and above. And the fact that there's that ownership that I can be part of this community today, and you know what? I'm not happy with these guys anymore. I can sell it off to someone else. That's also going to give that strength. It's going to take some time, but I do believe these NFTs will form parts of a grounding for communities so they can say, I identify with this. And that's where I think we'll be.
Well, I think that's a really great place to wrap things up. Thanks everyone for sharing your views. I think there was a lot of excitement about where we're going with NFTs and into the next stage on this journey toward real mass market adoption. So thanks for paying attention, everyone. And we will pass things off to the next group. And again, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you.